talk about the game and stuff.
Yeah, I'd love
Is
to.
that cool?
It's in a weird transition anyways, so when things are more clear,
Yeah. I mean,
it'll be better.
I've been reporting on it in the news, all the
Yeah.
stuff that's gone on with
Oh,
Telltale, and
yeah.
people are asking for you and everything. So
Well, thank you, and thanks everyone. I've really been digging the support. There was a lot of love this weekend at Walker Stalker for
Right.
Telltale, and it was very heartwarming for sure.
cool. All right.
Yeah.
So don't worry, people who are like, why the fuck aren't you talking to Melissa about the game?
I know, what an
She'll be back
asshole.
later and we'll talk about it. Before we get started, I'll mention that this episode's made possible by Patreon supporters like Megan Gushalak, who've pledged their support at patreon.com/Jason and Karen. So thank you, Megan. I'm glad you came on board because you've been a listener that, you interacted a lot. So it'll be fun to have you in the group. Also, Free November starts Thursday, so everyone who said they wanted to be a part of that, I will be bringing you into the group, and anyone else who wants in on it, let me know. That just means that you get to come into the Facebook group for free for November to see if you like it. And also, just a big shout out to everybody who made it out to Walker Stalker Atlanta this weekend. This one, we had so many people from just listeners and people from our Patreon group who've become close friends. They rented an Airbnb, and it was really fun, and it was great to have friends in the audience during the panels and just to hang out, and it was a blast. The meetup was a blast this year, so lots of love to all you guys.
Yeah, there was an amazing group of people there. Several people came by my table, and I always get psyched because normally it's mostly just, Clementine fans, which I love, but I'm always so happy when people come by and they're like, "Oh, we listened to you on, the Walking Dead cast." So
Yeah.
and I apologize I didn't hang out a little longer that evening for those that were there. I was very tired, but it was so good to see everyone.
Yeah,
a lot of love.
We got a good picture of most of the people who were there, and you were front and center, so I'll show you later.
I was
It's cool.
clutching my purse. It was weird. I thought you were all going to rob me, so
Yeah, but you seem nice.
you're all great, but I don't trust you at all.
Okay, on that note, let's move on to our Deadcast Top 5.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
It never gets old.
So it's our Deadcast Top 5. This week it's our top 5 highlights for Walking Dead Season 9, Episode 4, The Obliged. What did you think of it? Did you like the episode?
Yeah, I did. I thought it was great. I literally just watched it with Dixon and my friend Jenny. Again, 5 seconds ago. I thought it was really great. I was a little confused by some portion of it, but that's just because it's me, and I'm like, I don't know what's happening here.
I was too. Maybe it was the same
What
thing.
is
Maybe
this?
it was different. Maybe we can help each other figure it out.
Yeah. Hopefully it's the same thing. But there were a few moments, obviously, that really harkened back to that awesome suspense. I think I actually tweaked my neck in one of the scenes. I don't know what I was doing, but after I finished watching the episode, my neck hurts.
Ooh, like a double take or something?
Yeah.
What?
No, I don't. I think I was just so tense or something that I might have who knows? I should be filming myself as I watch the episode.
See what
See what
there
I'm
it is.
doing
A lot of
physically.
twitching going on.
Yeah.
I loved it too. I thought I really loved it a lot. I especially the beginning, but overall it was one of my favorites in a long time. There were some things that kind of bothered me, and like I said, I was a little confused, but overall I thought it was a great episode. All right, let's get into our top 5. What's your
I think you
number
should
5?
go. I think you
Oh,
should
really?
go first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think a lot of this episode was, strangely enough, even though we're winding down with Rick Grimes, it was a lot about Michonne and this dichotomy inside of her, and the whole intro segment was kind of about that.
Yeah.
And I loved that. I just played some of the music from it at the beginning of this podcast. It felt like a little independent movie to me, how it was this kind of spare, chirpy guitar music, like out of a Wes Anderson movie or something.
Right.
Tiki, tiki, tiki. And then it was all nice and you know, it was basically a contrast between her in the daytime in the light, building a new society, gardening, about growth and building and being happy and, you know, civilized. And then all of a sudden the music just stops abruptly and she's in bed, restless, nervous, maybe anxious. And then she's goes out with her sword and starts killing Zeds. And it was interesting because she seemed, especially there was one moment in particular where she had this big kind of crazy smile on her face as she was doing it.
Right.
It looked kind of comic booky. And then it's back to the daytime with the music starting in again and women fighting in the garden over how to do it right, which I thought was funny.
Right.
And so this whole little study in contrasts of peace versus violence, joy versus dread, growth versus destruction and killing. And I think the point is that Michonne has all of that within her. And Negan, the whole interaction with her and Negan, he was really trying to turn it into her being afraid that, or her being, well, his version of that is it's a good thing that these people that we used to love died because they were weak, and now that made us stronger, and we're attracted to that strength, which basically involves being violent and dominating and killing. And I think for her, it was more about just working out her anxiousness and tension. And also when she looked over at her sword on the wall, it reminded me of a few seasons back when they first got to Alexandria, and she put the sword up on the wall, and it was like, oh, what are you trying to say, that all this, everything is nice now? No, not really. We still need it. And so there's still a call for that strength. And I even loved when she said, yes, I do get strength from the dead, which, I mean, that's her in her total powers when she's slicing those suckers up. She's so powerful, and I think she does get something from that. But there's a fine line between trying to balance that and what Negan was saying, more like you're afraid you're just going to turn into a monster, basically. You know, I don't know. What's your take on all of that?
Well, that's interesting you bring that up. I mean, how could it not be one of the talking points? But it was as well my number 5. So I mean, it's interesting because I read into it about the same as you, but a little bit differently too, in the fact that, you know, that it's just almost, maybe it's the word mundane, but the daytimes are like, you know, here's the routine, you know, you take care of the kid, you have to put little fires out in the, you know, we're trying to start a, you know, new civilization basically, and at night, but it's lacking like what the world really is, you know, and it is a zombie-filled world. So at night, there's just this restlessness of like, I can't just be someone who, you know, there's no such thing as a normal mundane life anymore. Right.
Mundane is a great word, because she mentioned, I sacrifice, I compromise. It's like the act of building can be frustrating and filled with compromise, and when you're out killing zombies, you get to just cut loose, and there's something really freeing and probably cathartic about that for her.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at with that scene as well. But it's also just kind of a representation too, where, and I know it's what her and especially Rick are striving to like get to this place where, you know, people come together again and build and create this, you know, I don't know, democracy, whatever, you know, a normal, what used to be society. And that's just like, I don't know.
You'd think you wonder whether it's possible or worthwhile.
I don't think it's possible. Well, and it goes deeper than that. I mean, there's some talking points that I have also that might be other numbers, but it just seems like, you know, it's...
I mean, that's the thing. I think The Walking Dead has us right where it wants us, because Negan is trying to say that, you know what, that's all just bullshit, and really what you are is a warrior, and you know that. And Michonne is fighting back, saying, no, that's part of me, but we're also building. But Negan has a point when he says, well, you're afraid you're going to become like me. And I think he's right. Michonne is afraid of that. That's why Negan got under her skin like Hannibal Lecter or something.
I totally, that scene was, I'll eat if you riddle me this, Michonne.
Exactly. I mean, I was a little skeptical that, all he does, she's sort of, or he goes, I'm glad my wife doesn't see me in this situation. And she's like, why? Because you're such an asshole. I forget exactly what it was, but then
or like what you'd rather she'd seen you
as the asshole you were,
as the asshole.
And
right.
He's like, she was such an angel and she deserved better than what she got. And almost like on a dime, Michonne suddenly was like, oh, what happened to her? Like totally sucked in by that. It felt like it could have been a little more believable for her to suddenly be so engaged with him.
Are you saying you didn't feel like that was believable?
I didn't. I felt like I wanted him to seem a little more skilled in getting her to open up to him. It seemed like she opened up to him too fast.
I agree. I think there was a little bit of a because she's so guarded and she's got major walls.
Formidable,
yeah. It seemed like she was getting comfortable with Negan a little too quickly or easily in that scene.
Exactly. And I think actually what it should have been is where he said something really pointed about her that she was afraid might be true. That might get her to start opening up a little. What opened her up was when he said his wife had cancer, or that he didn't even get that far yet. He just said she didn't deserve what she got. And all of a sudden Michonne opened up, and I think she would have been more guarded until Negan said something that kind of got under her skin, Right. But anyways, it was still a good idea, and it was done pretty well.
Yeah. The whole it's intriguing too, because so much else was going on in the other zones and the other realms. So this little sub story with her and Negan was, I don't know. I liked it. There's
one more thing I wanted to touch on with this, that Michonne, I wasn't sure at first about. It seemed like it's something new for her character to sort of be getting off on killing the zombies and being kind of self-conscious about that. I mean, she definitely does it with style all the time.
Right.
But now suddenly it felt like a little forced for it to be that Negan realizes Michonne's addicted to it.
Well, and what was the scene with the one walker hanging from the tree? She kind of stopped, and all of a sudden she almost looked like I don't know, freaked out, or like what am I don't know. It was just this kind of look on her face,
horrified at herself or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think she's struggling with it, but when she said, "I do get strength from the dead," that actually made it feel a little more like, okay, this is a through line with her, that maybe she realizes that when she kills so efficiently that it somehow empowers her, right? Mm-hmm. And that's cool, because you need to be able to do that anyway, and in the zombie apocalypse. But
right.
I could see going out there and going, all right, I'm going to, be in my power and do this and clean up like I need to. But then pretty soon you're Morgan going, clear, I got to clear.
Right.
So you got to find that line.
Yeah. No, you're right, though. I didn't even think about that. I mean, if someone really, if their addiction was killing the zombies, and I'd go for it.
Right.
That's a healthy addiction.
Exactly. Yeah. They say the definition of addiction is when it interferes with your work, but if it is your work, then go for it.
Right.
But yeah, now she has a new job. She has to be a builder and a person who brings people together, and so she has to kind of compartmentalize those two things and not let one interfere with the other. Anyway, okay, I guess it's my turn still, right? Number 4?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just thought that would flow in with what is Negan doing? Like, of course, you think that he's probably trying to gain an edge on her in order to escape. That's what I would think, right? Mm. At first, that's what I thought. Anyway.
Well, that's what I assumed.
Like, why start trying to talk to Michonne and get under her skin? But as the episode went along, I thought maybe that he actually was just genuinely trying to connect with her.
Yeah.
Because Jeffrey D. Morgan says Negan doesn't lie. And, he probably does lie sometimes. But I decided, okay, let's take that at face value. Then it means he really does believe that he and Michonne are alike, that they're both all or nothing and all this. So that, and he's starving himself because he knows that Rick needs him alive in order to, prove that the civilization thing is working. And so that's the only leverage he has, is to threaten to starve himself to death.
Right.
And he's using that leverage to get Michonne to talk to him. And it seems like at first, okay, maybe he's just trying to connect with her. But then I think really, I don't even think necessarily he was trying to get her to help him escape. I actually do think that he wanted to connect with her and that he thinks that they're alike. But I think more it was about trying to build that connection so that he can get Lucille. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. That was kind of funny, actually. I was
What'd
just
you
like,
think?
oh my, yeah, because I thought the same as you. I thought like, oh, he's like, what's his angle here? He's maybe looking for a way to get out and let her screw up and then somehow take advantage and get out, whatever. Right. But then, yeah, he goes into this like total, like, I just need to see her. I was like, oh my God, okie dokie.
And banging his head against the wall.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that was enough alone to, he could have killed himself right there. That was horrible.
I know. I hate when you see somebody in a horror movie just like jabbing themselves in the eye with something or whatever.
It's no good. But yeah, I actually, that's I didn't see it coming. I definitely did not see him have all of that basically be so that he could try to convince her, like, can I just see her once? Where is she? How's she doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that to me right there was also just like, he's completely
nuts,
mental.
Yeah.
I mean, we knew that, but that seemed even more mental than Negan, because Negan, even though he's crazy, psychopathic, he at least had, I don't know, some wits about him. That was just...
Do you think this
cuckoo.
is, stupid?
Do I think it's stupid? Mm-hmm. Do I think that was a stupid thing to do? Like, as in right into the show? Or?
Yeah. A stupid plot development.
Well, I mean, in a sense, just because at this point, if they all of a sudden made him redeemable, you'd be like, well, what about that whole obsession with his bat? Or I know redeemable. This is where, I don't know anything because I'm not caught up on the comics. So, as for his future, I'm sure comic book people know more than I. But it was a little weird. But if for some reason that just lends to him being even more mental going forward,
Mm-hmm.
then it made sense. But otherwise, it was like, okay.
I mean,
huh.
Yeah, it's so crazy. When a show does something this crazy, I'm like, oh, that's almost beyond the realm of reality. But then again, at least just to play devil's advocate, when you're in solitary confinement, I know it gets pretty bad, right? You're talking to yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I both know.
Yeah, because, I did a stint, and man, I really fucked up. I was down there for like 6 years.
Became a voice actress.
Yeah, I know. All the voices in my head. Got real good at it. Yeah, I don't know. Well, do you feel like, were you just kind of like, okay, that was how do you feel about it?
I thought it was a little extreme, but then, I guess trying to be a good podcaster and analyzing it, I'm like, okay, Negan, I mean, it was clear from last season when he was talking to Gabriel that this thing that happened with his wife has had a real impact on him. And that's like probably one of the most human and vulnerable scenes we've seen with him. Maybe a couple others, but not many. And so now I feel like even though this is crazy, it's like the craziest we've seen him. It also was even more vulnerable probably than we've ever seen him. So this might actually be an inroad to making him, I don't know about redeemable, but at least more human.
Sure. Yeah. Well, do you think Michonne, though, was just like, I just wasted all my time? I thought you were going deep, man. And all you wanted was that damn bat.
She kind of got off on him being so, because this really was the most helpless we've seen him. And she was like smiling at it. And I don't blame her based on what he's done. So I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
But then she was reading the book to Judith, and she saw the bat in the book, and she had that kind of like, wasn't a smirk of like, what an idiot. She was like,
You're like, turn the page, Judith. But also, one night when she was out doing her thing, she found what looked like Lucille. It seemed like
the bat,
right. It was right because it
or a bat
looked like it used to have barbed wire wrapped around it. I don't even remember what happened. The real Lucille, but I thought that might have been it.
Yeah, I was trying to figure that out too. We were actually like, "Oh, is that Lucille?" But I didn't see barbed wire.
I think I saw barbed wire marks.
Yeah.
Either way, when Negan asked for it and she said it's still out there, I think we really don't know whether we can believe her about that.
Right.
She might have it somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
I bet she does, as a matter of fact. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. Well, it'll be interesting. It's interesting that they wrote that scene because is that just it? Was that just that scene, or are we going to actually... I don't know.
Right.
Was it a frivolous scene, or is it going to be... It's going to actually roll into like something, meaningful on the next episode, but...
I think, my sense is that maybe not next episode, but that we've got a lot more of Negan in his cell going through these, I don't know, weird moments. I mean, here's the thing is, in the comic, Carl goes down there a lot.
Right.
And it was really interesting, that part of the comic, but they can't do that anymore. So now it might be Michonne, or it might be different people,
So frustrating. That's for another episode.
Yeah. You're not the only one who feels that way. Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else on that?
No, I'm just, again, I'm just curious. I'm with you on that. That was a little, like, really?
Kooky, yeah.
Yeah, a little kooky. As for my number 2, that
wait.
not sounds funny.
No,
oh yes.
I still haven't. I don't think I've done my 3. No, I haven't.
Oh wait, have I not done 2?
Oh
wait,
we're going backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2.
I don't ever know.
Did you do 4?
Yes.
Okay.
No, I didn't.
Okay, do your number 4.
I don't do numbers apparently. As for my number 20, let's see, the scene with Anne, Garbage Lady, and Gabriel, this is my confused, I don't know what's going on. I just don't know what's going on. And I'm like, did I miss like some major factors that I'm just not remembering from like last season? I just don't know what's going on.
All we know is that, I guess we'll call her Anne, right?
Yeah.
She's
I guess.
Jadis, Anne, whatever. We'll say
Jadis, that's right.
Yeah. So Anne and Gabriel seem to be striking up a relationship.
Right.
But then she got a call from somebody saying they needed an A.
Yeah.
And she tried to convince Gabriel to go to this other place with her and just help her kidnap one person, and that's it, and everything would be great. It sounded like. And then he said no, so she smacked him upside the head. And then, what confused me is it seemed like she was supposed to be delivering people to this other group of mysterious on the other side of the walkie-talkie, whoever.
Right.
But then she said she started lowering this walker down to him, which I presume would have started to eat him.
Yes.
And she said that was the price of admission. So I was like, don't they want these people alive? Like, if they want walkers, they can find walkers everywhere.
They're all over the place. It's like a plague, literally.
It is actually a plague.
There is zero shortage.
So I don't understand that part. But then it seemed like, he was saying, I forgive you or whatever. And I think she really does feel something for him. So she decided to just abandon him rather than kill him. And so she chloroformed him and got the hell out of there. And then he seemed sad about that. But man, if I was him, I would just be relieved to get rid of her.
Ooh, I know, right? Where did she go?
Yeah.
I miss thee. I loved thee with all my heart.
Like, you were really? So different.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and I know this is bringing back last week's episode, but she had mentioned, she's like, I was for sure you were a B, an A. Mm-hmm. What did she say?
She thought he was a B, but he's actually an A.
So do we know what that means? Not yet, obviously. Okay,
it's B hole, A hole. No, I don't know. I'm just
okay. Which are both pretty much the same thing.
One's a little more polite.
Just childlike, yeah.
No, I don't think we really know what that is.
Okay.
And
Okay.
it was funny because the guy who I had last week guest hosting, Aaron from Watching Den, he said he really doesn't give a fuck at all what that means.
Oh.
But
All right.
I'm kind of curious. It is a little silly. I'm like, don't drag this out for another season.
Oh, I know. Yeah, because this is gonna lead us to, and I mean, I have theories, but I don't know. To that, finding out obviously who's on the other end of the walkie-talkie and helicopter person,
Right? Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about that later. That's gonna be, I'm sure, our number one for both of us. But talking about helicopters, that's the number one.
Just in general, our favorite
What's your favorite
ones.
copter?
Yeah. I was in a helicopter.
Scene,
Have you ever been in one?
No, and honestly, now I'm afraid I'd be really scared, but it might make me sick.
Well, I was in a
Depending on
helicopter
how
with
it's
Jenny
flying.
in Hawaii when we did like this tour and flew over the volcano, and it didn't have doors,
Nice.
and
Like-
it scared the shit out of me.
Oh God, yeah.
Especially when you bank sideways and you just kind of
Ugh.
look down and see volcano.
Yeah. Well, maybe I would go. I would just be screaming the entire time.
Why'd you
Pilot
make
would
me
be
do
like,
this, Dixon?
I'd be like, ah! roller coaster scream.
Anyway, it was scary.
But I don't know. That whole scene was intriguing to me, but I'm like, I felt a little confused. 'cause
it's not good
I
when
just-
you're wondering whether you missed something or if you're not supposed to know what's going on. You know what I mean? It feels like,
right.
and that's what it kind of felt like a little bit. But I think mostly we're not supposed to know. We're just supposed to wonder.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that was basically my number 4.
Okay.
Was trying to have you. Did I miss something? That's basically what that was.
Okay. My number 3 is, you mentioned it earlier, democracy. And there isn't a lot of democracy going on. There's more unilateralism of different sorts.
Mm-hmm.
Maggie is practicing that right now. She's on her way to Negan, and she didn't say it directly, but what she plans to do there. But when Rick was talking to Daryl, he said, "You know what keeping him alive means to me," and Daryl said, "I know what seeing him dead means to her." So I think she's going there to kill him, right?
That's what I assumed.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're just gonna talk.
Right.
She might bring the bat. That would be cool.
I was going to say she might
Here,
show
you wanna
up with
see it
Lucille.
again?
I know you missed this.
Well,
here it is,
here it
and then
is.
just leave.
No,
What?
she'd be like, "Here, I really want you to get what you want." Whack, whack, whack.
Yeah, whack. Right.
But Jesus doesn't approve of this.
No.
He says, Rick. It was interesting because it's not like he doesn't approve of her killing him. He doesn't approve of the unilateralism. He wants democracy. He says Rick was wrong in keeping Negan alive because he made a call that wasn't his to make. But now he told on Maggie. He's the one who sent Jerry. Keep on say Cooper.
I know, I do too.
to tell Rick that Maggie was headed to Alexandria.
Right.
So Jesus kind of went against Maggie there, which is kind of unusual. So anyways, Rick tries to get the message to Alexandria, but Alexandria Relay 1 is this Oceanside girl who, I think this girl is the one who was reading the GQ magazine. I think she's the one that like Tara and her used to flip each other off from Oceanside.
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember.
I think so. And so that message didn't get through. And that makes me really excited to see what's going to happen when Maggie gets there.
Yes.
But then Daryl's job is to take Rick somewhere else and keep him away from there too. And they're arguing about whether Rick should have killed Negan or not. And Daryl's like, well, if, not for Glenn, you wouldn't even be alive, so you should have avenged him, basically. But Rick's like, if Maggie kills Negan, Carl died for nothing. I mean, they both have reasons why they want to do what they did, but they're not, neither one of them is really saying we should all vote. They're just saying you should do it my way.
Yeah, there's a lot this whole season. Well, I don't know what episode is this even?
4.
Know. Yeah, okay. It's just the whole trying to have the saviors and the kingdom and, Alexandria, all the places, Hilltop, try to be combined and making it work has been a little, I don't know. I feel like that's just not going to work out, obviously.
Yeah, stressful.
Yeah, it's been very stressful.
It's good though, right? I mean, I've been loving it this season.
Yeah.
So far. It's been good.
No, me too. But I'm just like, oy vey, this is gonna
not gonna work.
But no, the scene in the show, there was a lot of obviously very mixed. Everybody's no messages basically got through to the appropriate situation, except for the fact that Maggie's probably going to get into Alexandria. But we need that to happen because that's going to add much excitement.
That's exactly why nothing ever goes right. Because if it did, it would be boring as hell.
Comedy.
Yeah.
The Friends intro.
With all these zombies skulking around in the background.
Right.
But I think what Carol said was actually really smart. Talking to Rick, she's just deciding to go back to the kingdom, and she says they don't want us there anymore, but I know they don't want Negan anymore either, not most of them anyway, so it's up to them to figure out what they want to be. And I'm like, yeah, actually, that's really smart. Why not just let them manage themselves? And if a union is going to come, don't try to force it to happen all at once and make everyone work together on these big projects, but just, maybe little baby steps. I mean, on the other hand, it's like Rick is really focused on this bridge, which suddenly, for some reason, this one bridge is the only way that they can ever...
That damn bridge!
Yeah, if that bridge is gone,
Good
then
Lord.
it can't work.
Everybody just dies. The bridge has been...
It's like, that's the only way to get from Alexandria to the sanctuary is by this bridge, and if it's gone, then we'll never see them again. Well, maybe if that's the case, then just let the bridge go away.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, but anyway, I thought Carol was smart to say, hey, just let them manage themselves, and then, we'll see what happens. It's not saying we're still going to have war. It's just maybe there's no reason to try and force this union right now.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of my number 3.
Okay. Which?
Ish. Well, the whole, the saviors, I just feel like, you have you have people, and then you have the riffraff, kind of like the Bad News Bears kids, where you're just like, oh boy.
And saviors have both. They
do, but it's just, I just watching this, there's just, unfortunately, there's a lot of really negative people.
Like Jed.
Yes. And he's not the one who just died, right? No, he's the one that in this episode started shit and called Carol weak. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which
then I'm like, well, you're dead.
Yeah, I know. There goes you. But it just seems like, this need to keep that group so formed and have them still be the saviors. And I don't know. I mean, it's playing on my maybe my Negan side of do we even give a shit? Just let them.
Or maybe you could even say, hey, any of you guys that want to come back and on a trial basis be a part of any of our groups and you want to work together, come on. And if you don't,
go away.
See you later.
Yeah, just go away. Yeah.
Again, that would be boring.
Yeah, you're right.
It might just work out and then there'd be no conflict.
That's true.
But one thing that I liked when Rick and Daryl were arguing about all this, and Rick said, I never asked anyone to follow me. It just reminded me of this. I have a clip. I put 2 clips together from 2 different episodes. Here we go.
I never asked anyone to follow me. This isn't a democracy anymore.
I guess he didn't ask back then, but he's kind of proclaimed himself dictator.
Yeah, that's funny. Oh my God.
Anyway. Okay, I better get to my first
second
sponsor.
Oh, your first sponsor. Your first second.
Yeah, my first, second, third. First sponsor this week is Fallout. So support for today's show comes from Fallout 76.
Wow.
New game from Bethesda Game Studios. They're the award-winning creators of Skyrim and Fallout 4, and they welcome you to Fallout 76, which is an online prequel where in this game every surviving human is played by a real person.
Oh.
Say you can work together or not to survive. Under the threat of nuclear annihilation, you'll experience the largest, most dynamic world ever created in the legendary Fallout universe. Reclamation Day 2102, 25 years after the bombs fall, you and your fellow vault dwellers, chosen from the nation's best and brightest, emerge into a post-nuclear America. Play solo or join together as you explore, quest, build, and triumph against the wasteland's greatest threats. So this Fallout series, I mentioned last time, I've always been interested in it. I never played the games yet, but I'm excited to try this one. Have you ever seen it?
I have seen some. I've seen some of the cutscenes. I have friends who have been in Fallout.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I mean, I'm affiliated to it by voiceover, but I haven't.
Nice.
I don't, yeah.
It just looks like an awesome game, especially for people who watch Walking Dead and like this kind of stuff, because it's about a post-apocalyptic world.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's huge, and it's a game that they've put so much attention to detail. There's dark humor in it, and there's all these little like relics of the past, all decayed and things like that.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I love the artwork. Like the
gas masks.
Yeah, exactly.
Things like that, and it's got kind of an Art Deco feel to it. I think sometimes, and there's all these like decayed landmarks, and you get wrapped up in the story and everything like that. So it looks amazing, and the new Fallout 76 is going to be available worldwide on Wednesday, November 14th, so that's coming up soon. You can pre-order that now at participating retailers, and you can play the beta, and it says the games play best on Xbox One.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Okay, we're back, and it's time for what? Your number 3, right? Oh, you did that one already.
Yeah, I think it's you.
Okay, my number 2 is Rick's Goodbyes, which it was a little conspicuous, but he kind of felt like he was saying his goodbyes to a few people. Did you notice that?
Mm-hmm.
Like with Eugene, when Eugene was like, I'm sorry, I didn't do more to help. I should have read more books on engineering and all this. And Rick's like, you're not just a guy who reads books. You made something. You got us here. After everything, that's everything. And if I was Eugene, I'd be like, oh shit, he's going to die.
Right. Yeah.
And he said to Carol, well, she was saying, what I just said, that the Saviors don't want them there anymore. And so it's up to them to figure out who they want to be. Rick said, like you did? She goes, like we all did. He goes, I don't know if we're doing the right thing here. I really don't. But if anyone gives me hope for how things can turn out, it's you. You know that, right? Mm. And when he was saying that, I'm like, I think that's the last thing he's ever going to say to her.
It's funny that when a character is, it's been announced, they're leaving the show, tra-la-la. On those final episodes, I'm always, even as an actor or as anybody, looking to see. I feel like you can always tell when there's even more emotion behind it. Because they're friends with the person they're acting with, and they know
exactly, they're not going to be working together anymore.
Right, even a teary eye or like a quivering lip or a stutter in the line. I'm like, oh, here it goes. Even if it's not supposed to be, sometimes, the final scene before seeing, your friend, whatever, could be an action thing or whatever. But there's always got to be that moment because you know that they're just like, I mean, how many years? How many years have these people been working together? It's a long time. That's family.
So did you see that in these scenes?
I did. I definitely did. I mean, with Eugene, it's kind of hard because he really does have to. But he did. He actually, when Rick walked away, he kind of had he looked, actually, now I need to go rewatch it. He actually did look like his eyes were a little bit, like, glazed.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Rick did when he was saying, without you made something, you got us here, and after everything, that's everything. It just seemed a little too poignant and rich for the moment, but it's touching, for us, knowing what's about to happen.
Right. Even though I really have no idea what's about to happen.
I mean,
I don't think, well, obviously no one does, but there are so many theories floating around that I'm like, okay,
we'll get to that. I just wanted to do a couple more. So, Michonne, I think she kind of they've been having moments throughout the season so far, especially when they were talking about having a baby last time.
Right. Yeah.
I was like, that is so sad. Stop it, you guys. But then, even just the beginning of this episode, during that montage, they were working together and stuff. And I'm like, I don't think he's ever going to see her again. Well, we'll see. I mean, I know we're going to talk about that. But then Daryl and Rick, their whole goodbye is basically this action scene, and they're arguing and everything. And then they're fighting the zombies and helping each other survive. And I feel like that's kind of indicative of their relationship so far, that they have been at odds a lot, but they're also brothers to the core. And even when Rick's sticking his hand out, like, come on, brother, and just take my hand. And so then he saves his life. And it was a good, I mean, I don't know, the whole pit, like, there's a pit there. Why is there a pit there? I was a little critical of that. And then when the zombies started falling into the pit, I'm like, oh, that's convenient. But then I realized that actually that the gunshots going off with Carol fighting the saviors was what drew the herds together that weren't supposed to converge. So it made a little more sense. So I was less critical of that. There being a whole pit, I'm not so sure. Like, they just happened to fall into a pit. How often does that happen?
We were like, is that a sinkhole? It's a trap? It's a meteor hit the earth? Yeah, it was an oddly placed pit.
But that aside, I guess it was cool to see them start off that scene at odds and end it helping each other survive.
Yes.
That's their goodbye to each other.
Yes. That scene is my number 2.
Go for it.
Sorry, every time I say number 2, it makes me laugh. That's my number 2. First of all, yes, the pit. Why is it there? But it actually didn't bother me too much. I didn't question it too much because, why not? Seems like something in Georgia, like in the country of, oh no, they're not even Georgia, they're in Virginia. Mm-hmm. But in the woods, it just seems like, why not have a random pit?
Well, what was funny to me is they fall into the pit, and then Rick says, we got to use these roots to get us out. And he jumps up and grabs one, and it breaks, and he falls, and he goes, did you plan that too? And I'm like, really? Like, what did he do? He went down there, and he's like, oh, I'm going to make this weak root, and Rick's going to fall down. I'm
going to put a root.
And why would he do that? Just like, because it would be fun to watch him fall down.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. Anyway.
Yeah, that was a little ridiculous. But it was maybe just one of those frustrated moments. Like, well, did you do that too?
Yeah, okay. Thank you. You just made me like it a lot better.
Oh, was that your doing as well? Fuck you. I have to say though, I think this was because it was the final. Maybe I don't know. Maybe one of the final emotional scenes between the two. I thought that Norman Reedus' acting in that scene was quite lovely. Mm-hmm. Because we get Daryl in bits and pieces. It's not often we have too many words strung together for that long, and I don't know. I could sense that was a really powerful scene for him to be filming, and so I thought he did an amazing job.
Yeah, last week or maybe a week before, in the news we reported that somebody had counted the number of words that Daryl says every season,
and it's besides hey,
yeah, and it's really just gone down a lot in recent seasons, way a lot. But now this season, they're giving him a lot more to do, so it's cool.
Yeah, I know. I'm intrigued by that as well, as to why, because his character is, hello. It's one of the most intriguing character and of the whole entire show, and always has been. So I was happy to see more dynamic acting coming from him, or they giving him that scene with Rick.
Me too.
And I felt that, and I was like, I want more Daryl.
Me too. Like, he's never actually been one of my favorites. He's not also, I like him, but I've never been so high on him like a lot of people. But I want to, though. I want them to give Norman Reedus really great stuff to do, so that I can like him as much as anybody else.
Right. Well, and he, just obviously he's capable of doing that. So
yeah,
I think it would be it's an honor to him for being on that show as long as he has, that they do give him more scenes like that.
And the word has it that he's going to have a much bigger role with Andrew Lincoln gone. So I think there's...
And then the next podcast I do will be like, God, he just won't shut up.
I know.
They need to take his lines away.
They ruined him. He's horrible. Yeah, no, that's true though. They got to do it right, because the thing about Daryl is he's not. I don't think of him as a Eugene. Was super wordy. So
no, not at all.
They're going to give him a bigger, but I hope they can do it right. So far, so good, in my opinion, this season. Yes.
But yeah, that scene in general, just to finish up on that, that was I think that's where I tweaked my neck. That what I was saying earlier, because it was really stressful. And we need those scenes. I feel like there's been some episodes of the past, where we lose that kind of like, oh shit, and it's The Walking Dead, and there's a reason it's The Walking Dead, and you need these suspenseful scenes. And if you go too many episodes without having those, then it just feels like a little too much on the. And I love a good story, but you need the action on something like this, or you forget that you're. It's a horror genre, it's not just a dialogue-based show. You need to have those moments. Yeah. And it was really suspenseful. And I liked it.
The thing is, every episode has some kind of a zombie incident, but they don't always work well. Like, they're not always as suspenseful as I think the show wants them to be. So, yeah, I think what would be awesome if they could pull it off is if everyone they did was like this one.
Yes, agreed. Because then even if there are moments where you're like, like we've questioned a couple of moments, it's just like, oh man, if it at any point in the show it goes off with a bang, you're like, yes. Mm-hmm. So it's a redeeming quality.
And I think one reason maybe why I like this episode more than any episode in a long time is because it's close to Andrew Lincoln's last time on the show, and so it just really amps up the tension of like what's going to happen.
Totally.
Although I didn't fear for Daryl though. I didn't fear for Daryl.
Oh, for a second I actually was like, oh shit, because we at Walker Stalker, people came out of the, I was like, how was the episode? Because I didn't watch it, and everybody was like, I don't know, I just need to digest it. And when we were watching it, I was like, oh my god, are they gonna is something gonna happen to Daryl?
That would be so crazy after all this publicity about Andrew Lincoln, and then Norman Reedus gets killed off.
I know.
That'd be insane.
Well, it would be a shocker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost like, I know that, actors have to announce they're leaving a show, but then you're like left with this giant spoiler alert the whole season.
I know.
It's almost more effective if you don't know that.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they wish they hadn't found out.
Right.
And I think it was because I think they would have done their best to keep it a secret, but it leaked. And so they just decided to take control of the message.
Why do people leak things? It's so annoying.
They're
I don't
A's.
Understand. Yes. A's, not B's. A's. Yeah.
Okay. My number one?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's Rick's death, maybe. But I think it is. I think he's not getting away from the situation. And I think next week is going to be in his head as he lays dying.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, obviously this is my number one as well.
Yeah.
But,
what do you think?
I don't know. It's hard for me to believe that would just really? Is that the way it's going to go down? Maybe.
It wouldn't be as satisfying if he was killed by Rebar.
That was I literally wrote that. Oh, Rebar, how many must you impale? You hear these stories about, I was driving my car and I hit a rebar rod and it went through my brain, Rebar. It's very dangerous.
I know.
It's a dangerous thing. They need to ban Rebar. So yeah, it would be a little like, really? His horse, he falls off the horse onto Rebar, and then that's how he dies. I heard that there was like a theory of the helicopter. I don't know.
Yeah, that they would kidnap him, right? Because there's been all this about them wanting A's, and maybe A means leader, and
right. But that would leave it open ended, which
I really get the sense that
he's done.
He's dead, and people who have that theory have it because they love Rick and they don't want him to die, and they're just hoping that's true. And I love
Right.
Rick too, but I'm pretty sure he's dead. He's not dead yet. He's laying there
No,
unconscious.
I'm not dead yet.
Yeah.
Right. Well,
Impaled.
yeah. I mean, it doesn't, from the shot overhead, it doesn't really look like there is any way out of that. But maybe he'll pull himself, pull himself up and then go, I don't know,
Yeah.
crawl into the woods to die. But then it just kind of is like, really? Rebar?
I think, I don't know. I have a good
Okay.
feeling about next week's episode, but we'll see. There was a really great preview for it, but I guess we probably shouldn't talk about it because that would be a spoiler for people who don't want to know. But
Okay.
if
Yeah,
that
I
was,
don't wanna know.
if that is how he dies, he fell off a horse and got impaled, and now there's two herds of Zeds converging on him. I was trying to think, well, why would they want to have him go out that way? And there's just a few different components to that. One is that it would provide symmetry a little bit with the pilot where he got thrown off his horse in Atlanta.
Uh-huh. I totally thought of that when he was on that horse. I was like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah, you should stay off horses.
Yeah, well, at least the horse seemed to survive this one, because that was my
Right.
top concern.
Yeah, it'll be like the inverse, where in the pilot, he got thrown off the horse and the horse distracted all the Zeds. They started eating it and he got
Mhm.
away, and now this time it'll be the opposite. Maybe. Which is pretty gruesome to think about. But anyway,
Right.
the big difference between that scene and this one is that he got impaled on rebar. And this might be a little bit of a stretch, but I'm thinking, okay, what does rebar represent? It's what you use to build things.
Mhm.
And I think maybe you could say there's symbolism of Rick trying to be this builder and just blindly pushing for that, even when it's clear that it's not working, might have been what killed him, and
yeah.
and that, so it's almost like his own idealism killed him.
Was that a big pile of rebar he fell on?
I think there were a few.
I can't remember. I was like, maybe they'll find him and that pile of rebar, and they'll use that rebar
To build.
fix the bridge.
to fix the bridge, and his body
They'll name
will
it
be one of
the-
the struts.
Rick Grimes Memorial Bridge.
Also, I mean, so there's zombies converging, and if
Mhm.
nothing else comes in there, they're gonna get him. They're gonna eat him up.
Right.
And I'm like, I guess, I mean, that's kind of cool in a way if he has to die, that it's a zombie show and he's been battling the zombies the whole time. So to die by zombies, but also like if a person killed him, maybe that would sort of diminish him. Like someone got the best
Mhm.
of him,
Right.
And if it was
Yeah.
like Maggie, where I was thinking that maybe this conflict between Rick and Maggie would ultimately be what led to his death. Well, it kind of was, because he was actually going after Maggie, but it was more indirect. So she, you can't really hate her. Although, with Daryl, like he kind of indirectly caused Glenn's death by smacking Negan, and now he drove
Right.
Rick out to this pit. So I do feel a little anger towards Daryl about this, even though it's not at all on purpose.
Right.
I'm like, man, keep getting your friends killed.
Well, it's still kind of unbelievable. I don't know. I'm just on the whole Rick death. It just I don't see where. I mean, I'll still watch the show. I'm sure it's going to be great, but I'm like, well, where's it going to go?
Mm-hmm.
How are they going to keep people intrigued? There's going to have to be some serious twists and plot thickenings and building up of characters that we are super engaged in. I mean, not to bring up my own game, but if Clementine isn't, if she were to be killed off and they were to continue The Walking Dead, they'd have to come up with a really freaking good character for people to be like, I want to play this game. I know those are probably really bold words, but
No, I just don't. I don't think I would play it. Yeah,
I mean, it could be amazing. Well, it could be, unless it was like,
suck.
AJ, or I don't know. There could be a twist, but I just feel like I'm really curious. And I know this wasn't the final episode, so maybe it should be talked about after a final episode. But
Yeah.
I'm curious to see what's going to happen and how they're going to go forward with the show to keep people like super engaged and, psyched. And
I mean, what has me feeling good about it is just the quality of these first 4 episodes.
Yeah.
And knowing that there's a new showrunner, and so that probably has something to do with it. And just the energy feels there, and the storytelling is much better, I think, and the action even like the focus on the zombies is different. They seem a little creepier this season.
Right.
And the whole intro sequence is pretty awesome, right?
Oh, I love it. I talked to someone this weekend who didn't like it, and I was like, really?
What?
I think it's a really cool, like, I really dig it, and it's an homage to, like, the comic realm, so I really like the artwork. I think it's really good.
So all of that, and actually I'm one who I'm kind of glad I knew Rick was going to be gone, because it gave me some time to process it so that I could make the decision to keep watching. And I think some people would have rage quit if they hadn't announced it.
Right.
So anyway.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I guess some people would.
Yeah, it's like if you found out your friend was, well, this is really depressing, but if you found out someone you knew was going to die, then you would have time to say your goodbyes versus if they just got taken from you.
Right.
Kind of feels like that to me. Like I wanted time to say my goodbyes, and I got that, so that feels good.
Yeah, it's like what, 10, 9? I don't know. It's been a long time. 9 years, I guess.
Yeah,
9th season. So it's been about 9 years.
Yeah,
It's been
9 season. Yeah,
quite a journey.
Yep. Well, yeah, I'm really looking forward to this next, and I feel depressed about it too, man. Fuck, Rick's my favorite character.
I know, me too. I'm not thrilled. That's where that whole hesitation of like, well, how's it going to be good after this? Not to take away from the other actors, because I think they all do an amazing job. I'm definitely drawn to, most of the characters on the show. So, but it is,
it's not going to be the same.
Right. It's the playable character, basically.
Yeah.
We're losing the playable character.
Yeah. I mean, you can't blame Andrew Lincoln for wanting to go do other things and be with his family. Yeah,
and he's like from the UK. He probably wants to go do British things.
Yeah, right on the London Eye.
Yeah, hello.
All day long.
Yeah, I know, right? Eating pubs and fish and chips. Because that's what people in England do, right?
All day long. Okay. Any other like random notes or anything?
Nope, I don't think so.
I noticed Negan now has the same kind of whispery voice syndrome that most of the characters on the show get for some reason.